Hey ninjas, how's it going? In this week's video, I wanted to go over how to pick a wedding videographer. So my main business is wedding videography. I'm there on the day of for someone's wedding and I film the whole day and then I create a video out of it. Usually they'll get a highlight video or a full-length video. That's basically what I'm going to talk about in this video. How to pick a wedding videographer, what are the most important things to worry about, and just kind of the whole general process, like what to watch out for, how it's going to go, what pretty much to expect. All right, so when you're looking for a wedding videographer, I always think that one of the most important things is to find the style that you like. Obviously, the style that you like might be a little bit too expensive. There's a lot of different price ranges when it comes to videographers, but I always kind of like to split it up into about 4 different areas. So there's going to be your budget videographer. That's basically could be someone straight out of film school, could be someone that has been working for a long time, but just their quality may not be as good, or for whatever reason they don't have to charge as much. Usually it's going to be someone with a little bit less experience that would be considered the budget videographer. Usually this would be anything under $1,000, under $500. If you're getting a full day of coverage and you're getting all the editing, everything like that, that'd pretty much be a low end or budget videographer. Then you'd get, on the other end, there'd be the high-end videographer, the expensive guy. Basically, these guys would come with several videographers. You would get drone coverage. You'd probably get same-day edit. You would get several videographers, like I said. You would have your editing done within the same day. You probably have everything done within a month. They're probably going to be charging about anywhere from $5,000 to $20,000, really depending on their quality, how long they've been doing it, and their market, and their past clients. And it all comes down to their quality of work. A lot of times they're using several videographers, so they have to pay each one. They might have 2 or 3 videographers or more. And also they're paying an editor to be there on site to be editing during the day, so that basically they're editing the whole day, and then at the end of the day they'll have an edited video ready for you to play at the reception. So it's the same day edit. You have everything, at least one video edited on that day. Usually the longer videos will come about 30 days after. And then there's kind of like the in-between videographers, charging anywhere from $1,000 to $3,500, depending on their options. There's a lot of different options. And then there's always the ninja videographer. Basically, the ninja videographer means that we can charge a little bit less because it's basically I'm doing it. I'm the one that's shooting your wedding and I'm the one that's editing your wedding. I don't have to hire many other people. I'm able to do everything myself. I'm also the salesperson, like I'm the one that you're talking to. I'm customer service as well. I don't have to hire other people for that. I'm able to do all of that myself. I have a 5-star rating that I've been able to keep over several years, 7 years almost. So I think that's really the 4th option, is the hardest option to find, someone that's affordable and is very good and provides very good customer service and is experienced. It's something that's very hard to find. That's why I call it the ninja videographer. It is the 4th type of option. It's the hardest to find. You're getting almost the same type of quality as the high end that's charging $5,000 to $20,000, but I'm charging pretty much what a middle range videographer would charge. Now, the options that you got to pretty much be thinking about. There's hour options and there's editing options. Those are the main 2 types of options that you have to worry about. How many hours is the videographer or videographers going to be there? How many videographers are going to be there? And also, what type of editing are you going to be receiving? Now, as far as hours, the way that I usually do it is I offer an unlimited hour option. So that basically means that I would be there from the beginning of the day, from when you start getting ready, basically the first moment that you want me there, when you have a little bit of makeup put on, everybody's at least a little bit ready, I would show up, and then I'd be there till the end of the reception, pretty much when everybody's getting a little too drunk and I should probably stop filming, or when you exit. It really depends on your schedule. I like to work with you on your schedule to make sure that I'm there for all the important moments. I don't leave before it's all done, basically, for that option. Other videographers, they're very much more strict to hours. So you'll probably find something like a 4-hour, 6-hour, 8-hour, maybe 12-hour type packages. They're going to be very strict on those hours. Those hours are usually going to be continuous hours. This is something that brides ask me a lot. Would I be able to have 3 hours and then maybe you take a break and then you film 3 hours later type thing? Maybe I don't shoot the photo shoot and then they would save an hour there. That's usually not how it works, at least not the way that I do it. Once I arrive, the hours begin, and then they would end when I leave. It would not, they would not, a break or a meal or things like that would still, the hours would still be running. Usually it'd be pretty much standard to, for any videographers or photographers to get a break, usually about 20 minutes during the reception. And vendor meals are usually pretty common. Sometimes it doesn't happen, and I completely understand. I mean, I just pretty much like to be notified ahead of time that if there's not going to be a vendor meal so that I can have some food in my bag, things like that. But a lot of times, videographers will require that vendor meal and they'll require a certain amount of time. Really depends on who you're talking to. I'm very much more flexible with that type of thing. I mean, you're going to be talking directly to me, so I can make a lot more of those decisions than when you're talking to a bigger videography company where a personal person isn't allowed to make big decisions like that. Another thing, so the editing, so the hours would pretty much work like that. The editing, basically you have to decide on a few different options. There's that same day editing option that I told you about. That's something that I don't really do. I've offered it in the past. I never had too much interest in it until I moved to California. Here, a lot more people offer it, and it's a lot more of a popular option. It's something that I really don't do. I deliver all my weddings in 30 days, which for me has always been pretty fast. And so I would deliver the long version and a short version during there's 30 days, and I would deliver online samples for you to view and then give me any notes, anything like that, and I would make any changes that you pretty much have. A same day edit would be edited the same day. You'd have it in the reception like I told you. Then I would have a long version. The long version, usually you'd get a long version. That's a pretty much a very popular option. Different videographers do the long version differently. The way that I do the long version is more like a documentary edit. So it'd be 45 to 90 minutes. I'd include the whole day. I'd include impromptu moments, natural moments. I film a lot during the day, so I have a lot of footage. I'm able to make a documentary out of your wedding. I'd have the whole ceremony in there, not just a highlight of the ceremony in the long version. I'd have all the important parts of the reception, so the whole speech, the whole first dances, the whole bouquet toss, pretty much all the important parts, you'd have them in their entirety. Other videographers, you might get more of a highlight as your long version. It's not, but they wouldn't call it a highlight. It'd be closer to a 20-minute. I've worked with a lot of different videography companies and I've edited for them, so I'm kind of aware of what is offered out there. It'd be close to a 20-minute. It wouldn't be your whole ceremony, it'd just be the highlights of it. So pretty much you walking in, the priest saying the first couple of things, any sacraments or any important moments, any maybe a highlight of when someone speaks, things like that, any speakers. And then you'd have the kiss at the end and everybody walking out. Usually you turn a 60-minute or 20-minute ceremony into about 5 minutes. It's not really the way I do it, but it's a very popular option nowadays. If you don't want to have to watch the whole ceremony, you could have the whole thing right there. You could have the whole thing in a highlight version. And another thing, so that's kind of how that would work for the long version. For the shorter version, kind of how it would work is that you would have a highlight version. The way that I do the highlight is anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes, depending on the wedding. I want to make sure that all the important parts are in there, and anything cool that anybody said, I want to try to get in there. You can kind of get an idea if you look at the links below in the description. My style, at least, there's a lot of different styles of wedding highlight films, and you really got to find the style that you like, that works the most for you. I'm able to kind of edit the styles differently. I like getting advice from my brides and for you to tell me what type of styles you like. If there was another videographer that you liked, or maybe another type of movie or a music video, really anything, any type of your video style or your style, I like to know what you like, and then I'll try to make your video more tailored towards you. I have a lot of times brides that get very into their wedding video, and they tell me exactly the type of shots that they want and exactly the type of moments that they want me to create. But a lot of times they don't have that and they don't know what they want. So I'll kind of just maybe try to find for them to send me videos that they like, or maybe tell me a video that I created that they liked, different things like that. These are different things that I have in my contract in different sections. to just give me advice what you like. I want to make this video for you. I wanted to make it special for you. I mean, I think it's going to be a video you're going to be watching your whole life, so I want to make sure that it's something that you like. There's nothing in it that bothers you, and it's definitely something that it makes you happy every time you watch it. Another thing that you gotta keep in mind is the style of videography. Different videographers have different styles of when they're actually there on the day of. The way that my style is very much staying out of the way. I like to capture everything naturally as it's happening, and I don't want anything to feel too rehearsed. I don't want to have you do things several times. I try to stand back a little bit to the side, so that I'm not right in your face with the camera. I don't want it to feel like you have a camera the whole day in your face. Other videographers have different styles. They're different than that. The most common thing that I've seen or heard of is that a lot of videographers, and usually I'll hear this from photographers because I work with a lot of photographers. They'll kind of let me know how the other videographers work. A lot of videographers nowadays are treating wedding films more like movies. They're asking the brides to act more like actors, having to do action several times, like picking up your earring, putting on your earring. They might have not gotten it right the first time, so they ask you to do your earring again and again, maybe up to 5 times or more. You never know. And things like that, like simple actions where they weren't able to get it naturally, so they have you do it several times. And a lot of times you might like that type of thing. It could come out very much more polished, more looking like a movie, and not as much as a documentary. But something to keep in mind in that is it might get a little annoying the whole day having someone there. Basically, what I've heard from brides that have had that type of thing is that it feels like they didn't enjoy their day at all. It feels like they were basically they were hired talent for the day instead of being able to actually enjoy their wedding day. So it's really up to you. I think the photographers, for the most part, are going to be asking you to do a lot of things. I let them kind of direct the day, and for them to be the ones that are calling out actions and things like that. And like I said, I like to step back a little to the side of where they are and just find good angles. You can get an example of how that would work in a lot of my wedding videos. I have links below, but that's just my style. It's just how I've always done it. Those are kind of the main things. Another thing to keep in mind, hard copies. So I deliver, the cheapest thing obviously is to get deliveries online. Just to get an online delivery, I deliver my online videos through Vimeo, and you can download it through there and save it to your computer. Another option would be to have a DVD or Blu-ray. That's always a good option, especially for older family members that might not have access or as easy have access to the internet, but they do have DVD players, they do have Blu-ray players, they can just pop it in and press play. That kind of option I do still have, and a lot of videographers will have that. It'll cost a little bit more because to create the DVD, it's not just dragging a file onto the DVD. You have to create the menus, and usually those are custom menus, take pictures, and then the transcoding process. Usually when I'm creating a DVD, it'll take me about 1 to 2 days between the creating, the printing, rendering everything, and then actually getting it mailed out to you. So, you know, you pretty much have to pay for the Blu-ray discs, the cost of them, the cost of the cases, the cost of the paper, the ink, and then pretty much my time for the 2 days. I always try to make it pretty affordable. I charge about like $350 for 5 discs. A lot of times people think that's a lot of money because you can buy a DVD for $20, things like that, $10 in Best Buy. But I mean, I'm creating them custom from your wedding. It takes just a little bit more time than a factory, and I think a lot of people can understand that. But I always allow you to have a digital copy that you could download and create a DVD yourself. If you have a way of doing it, a lot of times with a Mac, with iDVD, older Macs, they don't have it anymore. DVDs have just become a little bit more difficult to make, but there are still options, definitely on PC. On Mac, there's a little bit less. And another thing to keep in mind is the raw footage. The raw footage is basically all the unedited videos that were on the camera, all the clips from the camera. So whenever I press record and stopped recording, all of those clips would be considered the raw footage before it's been edited and things have been taken out and just things have been picked from there. Now, I always include the raw footage. That's going to be on a USB drive that I mail to you after the wedding. That's something that I always think is a cool option to have because things may be left out of the edit. Sometimes I'll pick maybe the beginning of a clip, what I thought was interesting, but it might be interesting for you to see one day the end of the clip, things like that. I always include it. I think you're hiring a videographer. You should get all the clips that I shoot. I mean, it's your wedding. You should have everything there. I think that's very important. So I always include it in every single one of my packages, no matter if you're getting the low-end package or the high-end. always included. I think those are most of the major options: the raw footage, what editing, the hours, and pretty much just check the reviews. Go look online. What do people say about them? Like go on the Knot. Are they on the Knot? Are they on Wedding Wire? What are people saying about this person that you're going to hire? It's very important that they have reviews, and that if they have reviews, that they've responded to them, things like that. Just see what other brides have said about them. I think I have a 5-star review. I think you should go for a 5-star videographer. If you're looking for a videographer, look at those reviews. What have people said about them? You can see a link to all my reviews in the description, so you can kind of see what reviews should look like, or where the review site is, the Knot. That's pretty much the main review site. There are also Google Reviews, Wedding Wire, things like that. But I've always thought the main review site for weddings is the Knot. That's pretty much the biggest wedding website that there is. So go see what people are saying on the Knot, or other places. There's a lot of review sites at this point. You can look at them all pretty quick on Google and things like that. I mean, those are the main things you need to know when you're hiring a videographer. If you have any questions or you want to know anything else, just leave a comment, or you can go to my website and contact me. I'm always here to help any brides. I always want to make sure that you have as much information as you can when you're choosing a wedding videographer. This is a very important day. You only get one chance at these type of things. When you walk down that aisle, you're only going to be walking down one time. You want to make sure that you have someone very good at recording it. So thank you so much for watching, and I'm going to have a new video on Monday of next week releasing. Thank you so much, and that'll be rough cut editing. Have a great day. Bye.